100 versus 450 plus. There's a big difference between the two, whether you're talking yards, weight, or millions of dollars. The 100 is what Governor Brad Little recommended in his State of the State address when it comes to how many millions of dollars he'd like to see in tax cuts. The 450 plus is what would be cut from the general fund revenue if the current tax relief bills all make it to the governor's desk, that is. That's, again, assuming he signs them, which is a big assumption since he already said if he thought Idaho could handle 450, he would have asked for 450. So did Governor Little shoot too low on tax rebates, or Idaho lawmakers trying to unbalance the budgets by compromising some programs? Joe Paris tried to get the answer.
Cutting taxes is usually a popular pitch. Governor Little began 2025 ready to do it again.
I'm proposing yet another round of tax relief for hardworking Idaho families. $100 million.
But at the intersection of Jefferson and Capitol, it takes two to tango, and lawmakers are well beyond the governor's tax cut quota. The $253 million income tax cut passed the House and Senate and is awaiting action from the governor. $100 million worth of property tax relief unanimously passed the House, and it's on its way to the Senate. The newly signed law, the Parental Choice Tax Credit, includes up to $50 million in tax relief, money that won't show up in the general fund, and another $50 million in relief that won't show up in the general fund is proposed in the form of an increased grocery tax credit, legislation that has already cleared the House. $453 million in proposals, with some other concepts still floating around the State House.
I'd love the signal that every year in Idaho, your tax burden is going to get less.
Last week, the governor making a point about lawmakers balancing tax cuts and items that need funding.
They know I'm not very happy about it. So if I would have thought we could do 450, I would have proposed 450.
In the tax cut conversation, there will always be the debate of how much is enough, how much is too much. Are we compromising important programs? Speaker of the House, Mike Moyle, he wonders if there really is such a thing as cutting too many taxes.
You can never cut too much taxes. Come on, give the money back.
Speaker Moyle sponsored the biggest income tax cut in state history. He doesn't see conflict with tax relief and budget funding.
We have enough money in this budget to take care of substantial tax relief and also fill the needs of the state. There's enough to do it all.
Those who disagree point to major line items, things like fire protection and water investments as areas that could suffer from too many cuts. Speaker Moyle says lawmakers are fully aware of what needs to get done.
The debate is whether they're ongoing or not. I don't like throwing the money at ongoing on things like that because it takes away the oversight of the legislature, you know. It goes into the base, you never look at it again.
On budgets, Moyle has his eyes pointed somewhere else.
My concern is that some of these budgets may not make it even though they're trimmed. We've got a couple budgets out there that are trimmed pretty substantially and still are having pushback from some of our members. So that's going to be interesting how that pans out, especially on the House side with those budgets. We still got a long way to go there.
There are also what-if questions about if federal budget cuts could impact Idaho, or if economic downturn suddenly changes the conversation.
And if we have some problems this year, we've got the mechanism to be able to come back and take care of that. But in the meantime, that money needs to be in the economy flowing. It needs to be in your pocket, taking care of, you know, this hyperinflation crap going on and all that. It needs to be back in the citizens' pocket.
So what does the Speaker of the House make of the concerns from Governor Little?
I think he's showing his concerns with the budgets, but I also think that he realizes that the state's better off with that money going back, and he's had influence on those bills a little bit too, so he knows what's going on.
And just today, JFAC, Idaho's budgeting committee, signed off on the projection revenue of $6.4 billion for the state. And Speaker Moyle says that's a good number, showing the economy is growing. He says Idaho should take advantage of that, give money back to the people, while also having room to fund everything that needs it. And Brian, I guess it'll be a time will tell situation. Those revenue projections are just that, projections.
Yeah.
If something comes up short, or maybe there's extra money, it could greatly change the conversation.
Representative Moyle, or Speaker Moyle, saying the governor knows what's in those bills, but he also told us he's not happy about what's in those bills. So we'll see as they kind of come to a head. It also brings to mind the point that he wants to send $200 million a year into Idaho's rainy day fund.
And that's something that I asked Speaker Moyle about, where he says that, in his opinion, he doesn't think $200 or $100 million just sitting in a bank account, that helps Idahoans. He says if you have the opportunity to give it back, from his perspective, we should give it back. But yes, that is something, too, that the governor singled out. We'll see if Idaho lawmakers agree. Something that we hear from lawmakers is that the executive and the legislative branch are equal branches of government.
And this could make this legislative session drag on just a little bit longer. We'll see. All right, thanks, Joe.